All right, we're rolling. Hey, Justin, how's it going?
Great. How are you, Rob?
I am great. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for
Um,
having me.
so I was really excited to talk to you because we're former colleagues, and
Yes.
since we've been working together, or I guess from the point where we stopped working together, we kind of went on very different paths. And you're on this fitness business journey right now and having incredible success. You're a certified personal trainer and a coach, and you're specializing in fitness for true beginners. So
Yes.
tell me about that. What is a true beginner, and how is your program tailored to them?
So I guess I was categorized in the true beginner category, vertical. Um, but it's a place I truly enjoy, and it's a place that I think it's really important in fitness, and it's not a place that a lot of people in traditional fitness are familiar with, but it's something that almost everybody can relate to, right? It all started when my sister, who was a cancer thriver for a good part of 9 years, was really looking for exercises to do while she was going through her treatments and stuff like that. And you go on YouTube and you go on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, and you try to look for a beginner workout routine, and immediately they tell you to do the easy stuff, which is push-ups from the floor or burpees even, and running in place at full speed, which a lot of fitness trainers deem that as beginner routines because there's no weights involved, but a lot of people can't do that. And my sister knew me as a fitness trainer at the time, and asked me, hey, what are things that we can do? So I started working with her, and I quickly realized that someone's beginning part of their fitness journey can just be a matter of sitting and standing, right? In her case was standing to get up to go, let's say, to the kitchen to get a glass of water, or things like that. So it kind of stemmed from there. I was doing a lot of extreme fitness videos. I don't know if you remember, Rob, but when I first started my fitness account, it was all about the extreme push-ups, doing like flying push-ups and
I do
clap
remember
push-ups.
that.
And yeah, it was more of a show, if anything. And that's what I thought that, I enjoyed doing it, but I soon realized that I wasn't really helping anyone. And seeing what my sister was doing, because she was an influencer as well. She was helping a lot of people, and deep down inside, if I was going to do this thing online, it's definitely something that uh, I wanted to do as well. So she kind of asked me, hey, like, can you actually show how to do a push-up? And then when I did a tutorial about doing a standard push-up from your knees, a lot of people said, well, I can't go down on my knees. How can I progress to that? And then I just kind of went further and further back, to see, what's the best starting point. And I gained a lot of traction from there, because a lot of people, were commenting and messaging me saying, like, this is my level, this is where I want to start. And I kind of just dedicated the my career in doing that, because I find it's really important.
Do you find that it's kind of a blind spot in the fitness industry, like catering to those who are really at like the first step on their fitness journey? Because I seen a lot of people in the fitness communities online. It's all advanced stuff. And I've even
Yeah.
spoken to some coaches and fitness trainers. And, even though they have a sort of beginner level to their programs, it starts at a pace that might not be appropriate for everybody.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's also many people who are even too shy to ask a question like, oh, I don't understand the mechanics of a push-up. Like, how do I do
Yeah.
it? Like, I can't do it the way that is being shown to me online. Is there any way I can modify it? A lot of people won't even go that step to ask because of, I get, shyness, I guess, right?
Yeah, so that's it. I think there's ego on both sides. So if you look at the trainer side, right, as a fitness trainer, and I told you about my journey doing a lot of exercises that were essentially showing off, and there's that side to it, right? A lot of trainers, they're very fit, they have their six pack abs, and they're very strong, so they want to show, the things that they can do. So them, they'd rather show, and I'm generalizing here, but a lot of them would rather show squatting with a barbell rather than sitting and standing or doing box squats or literally sitting and standing from a chair. Not only that, a lot of people that do end up going to the gyms, and I noticed this because of COVID and quarantine, a lot of people that show up to the gym to ask for help from an actual trainer, they already went through the hurdles from mentally preparing themselves and maybe even practicing at home how to get a bit fitter, to actually crossing the barrier to saying like, okay, now I'm a little strong and I have a bit of momentum. Let me actually go to a personal trainer. So they're not at the beginner level of most people. They've already crossed that river. They've already done maybe even a few months of exercising on their own, because of that shyness, because of those insecurities. So there's a bit of prep. So when they do go to see a trainer, they're already able to do some of the basic stuff. They just want to learn a bit more and maybe even create a program. Because a lot of the questions that I get from beginners is like, okay, so I have the basics. I understand what I'm supposed to do. I just need an actual program to take me to get to lose weight or to build strength or whatever. During COVID, and obviously I worked with my sister, there's a lot of people that are not, they're either coming from different conditions or they've been sedentary for many years, and just walking up the stairs gets them out of breath, or just like I mentioned, getting up to go to the kitchen, they're not able to do so. So I'm actually a specialist in exercise therapy. So I work with people with chronic conditions, and we use exercise as a form of therapy. And I always mention in my social media, this is an everyday thing for the rest of your life. It's not just a 90-day lose weight and then get your abs, or let me lose 100 pounds. It's not that. Exercise is therapy, but also exercise is life, right? Movement is life. And that's what I try to teach, not to rush into things, because we're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. And that's what I really did with my sister who had cancer, who was going through treatments. And even after her treatments, we were still trying to maintain, the habit into moving, just getting up, because it's very easy to fall into that loop of, becoming sedentary and doing it in a gentle way, because, when you do have chronic conditions, arthritis, fibromyalgia, cancer, there are going to be some days where you do get flare-ups, or you are coming out of treatment, and some days you're going to have to rest. Some days you might not be doing sit stands or wall push-ups. Some days you might just be stretching because you've been laying down in bed all day. So that's pretty much, what I try to explore when I work with different people.
That's so important. Do you have a lot of clients who suffer from illnesses who are looking to use exercise as therapy? Is that kind of what you've
That's kind of the world, the community that I appeal to, and that's the community that mostly that are enrolled in my programs online, and that's what I'm catering to. But not only that, right? And it's also open to, like I like to say, true beginners, because for even people like myself, right? If I haven't exercised in 1 year, I might do one of my workout plans, and I actually do. I might do one of my routines that's maybe 15 minutes long, and to, let's say, someone with a chronic condition, that would be their whole workout for the day. And then for me, it would be maybe a workout that I would do for a week just to get into it. And a lot of it is just mobility work, getting into the movement patterns. Like I like to say, awakening dormant joints and muscles, because, if I go straight into doing a barbell bench press with the weight that I was doing, and even maybe lighter weight, after being sedentary or after being in a working position like this for many weeks, I do risk injuring myself, which has happened a couple times with my lower back, my shoulder, my wrist, because of that ego, and because not taking it slowly, and thinking that I have to go extreme to lose that weight or to gain that muscle in a fast period of time. So yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You did mention COVID and the pandemic, and I'm just curious on your thoughts about how that's affected people generally in terms of their fitness levels and things like that. I'd imagine that it's probably had a negative impact on a lot of people. And, people may have come to you saying, listen, I haven't really done much over the past 2 years. I'm really out of shape now and I need help. Has that been the case?
Yes, it has. Um, but also there's a lot of positive that came out of it, despite everything that happened. A lot in terms of fitness. A lot of people realize that they don't have to go to the gym 5 days a week and hammer their bodies. um, Maybe not for athletes and maybe not for fitness competitors, because that's more important for them because it's a sport, and that's a completely different conversation. But for people that just want to be healthy and strong for everyday life, they realize that there's a lot that they can do at home with no equipment or minimal equipment, bands or dumbbells or whatever, their little home gym. So a lot of people are giving up their gym memberships and just building their little health and fitness area at home, including myself. I have everything in the garage, and it's fine for me for my goals. And um, I do find that I've become a lot stronger because I become more in tune with my body, rather than going on a machine and making the machine do the moves for me. I'm actually, grounded to the floor and using my body as resistance. But yes, there has been a few people that, you know, uh, especially a lot of people that live in condos and apartments. There's not a lot of movement there, right? Especially the worst part of the pandemic, where we were actually not even allowed to go outside between certain hours,
Mm-hmm.
and daily walks were so important to people, and even going to the office, right? And you and I we were working at the same building. Even just standing up, going for a coffee to the kitchen, going up and down the stairs when you don't want to take the elevator because it wasn't there at the bottom, getting up, talking to colleagues, that's more movement than we would do if we were just sitting in our house, in our apartment, in front of the computer. The distance going from my workstation to the kitchen was probably 3 times the distance from my workspace in my condo to my kitchen, and that means 3 times less steps. And um, in the macro, that is a lot. A lot. Everything in fitness, it stacks up, and it adds up. And at the end of the day, those steps will matter if you're not doing uh, the extra work to balance it out. So I did see a lot of people, obviously, gain the COVID weight, lose the motivation, lose the discipline, because they would travel to the gym right after work. So it's a bit harder when you're comfortable at home. So yeah, that was that side of it. And but again, it opened up a lot of doors to other things for people to fall in love with doing yoga from home, stretching from home, and not having to go to a crazy gym where it's loud and there's a lot of people and you have to wipe it down. So yeah.
You bring up so many good points, and I relate to so many of them too, because
Yeah.
I used to go to gym on my lunch break, working at the office.
Yeah.
And I did find that I was punishing my body, at the
Mhm.
gym, doing heavy weights for the sake of lifting heavy weights. A lot of the machines that you mentioned, they assist you. They don't work the supporting muscles.
That's it.
And since I've been working from home over the past 2 years now, I have changed my workout routine. I'm doing kettlebells, and I haven't
Mhm.
been back to the gym since
Yeah.
I left initially. And I've noticed a huge difference. Like you mentioned, I find that I'm also stronger. I've changed all of the exercises that I'm doing. I work out probably just as frequently, but with different intensities and different. I don't need to take an hour and a half out of my day to travel to the gym and do my workout. I can do a 20-minute workout
Yeah.
at home and get just as much out of it, if not more than I did before. So it's more efficient. It's working my body harder and better. So yeah, it's really changed a lot of
Yeah.
things.
And I found that this was true when there was the first quarantine that we did, and I was really, working at doing body weight exercises and everything. And then when gyms opened up again, I went back to the gym because my membership was still active. And I realized that I was actually stronger because I started doing things like tempo training, where I was really taking my time in doing the rep rather than speeding through it, and then a lot of mobility work. So yeah, when I finally got back to the gym, I actually thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do as much weight. And then I got to the gym and I was pushing even more, and I felt great after. I felt a lot stronger. So yeah, there's that. And when you go to the gym, there's always that ego. You see a lot of people doing certain things and putting weight, and you have your gym partner, if you do have a gym partner. If not, just the person next to you, they're pushing a lot of weight, which is, in a lot of cases, there's a lot of strong people that go to gyms. It pressures you to add a bit more when you shouldn't. So yeah, you'd feel super burnt after. And yeah, I just love the feeling of working out from home, and just knowing that I'm working for myself in my home, and there's no competition, and no pressure.
Absolutely. You always do what's best for you at that point.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
So tell me a little bit more about your programs. I know that you, a lot of the programs or the clips that I've seen, especially on your social media, they don't involve any equipment. So like, what is the bare minimum that somebody needs to be able to start one of your programs at home?
So they don't need anything. I do have some videos where water bottles are included. Light dumbbells, I do have some videos that have light dumbbells if you want to have a bit of resistance. Eventually, I will include some gym equipment, home equipment for people that do own it. But the main programs that are featured on my site and app are essentially just body weight exercises. We're focusing on mobility. Like I mentioned earlier, the whole goal is to awaken dormant muscles, so to speak, for literally people that haven't exercised in a very long time. So we're going through movement patterns, taking our bodies through their natural ranges of motion, doing things that your body is meant to do, but might not have been doing because you are in a certain position for many years, whether it's being sedentary or even bedridden. Obviously, I always state that it's really important to consult with your physiotherapist and your doctor before doing it. But I do have a lot of physiotherapists and doctors, recommending my program as a starter plan. Right now, it's like I mentioned, it's online at justinaugustin.com, or you can download the Justin Augustin Fitness app. And there are multiple 30-day courses, because I like to split them in 30 days because your body takes some time to adapt and to get stronger. And typically 4 to 8 weeks is a good range when it's time to move on to something either more challenging or to switch things up a bit. Mm-hmm. So I have the absolute beginner gentle course. A lot of people start off with that, where it's a lot of just sitting and doing mobility work and standing. So I have some videos where you're strengthening your core, but in a standing position, because beginners, some beginners find it quite hard to get on the floor and work from the floor. It's just not something that they prefer doing at this part of their journey, so I accommodate to that. Then we have the absolute beginner course, which is something a little bit more challenging, and now we're focusing obviously on mobility, but there's a little bit of strength involved there, where instead of squatting, we're doing some sitting and standing. We might be doing some push-ups from the wall. And then we have the journey continues, which is the continuation of that. Similar exercises, but we're kind of changing it up a bit, and we're increasing the intensity. What's cool with the app and with the website is every month I have a beginner challenge. So I add a set of 5 to 6 videos that they can follow 5 to 6 days a week, Monday to Sunday. And it gives them something gentle to do. And they're very short. Typically, my challenges are 10 to 15 minutes. And they can either add it on to whatever program they're doing on my site, or whatever program they're doing in general, or they can actually follow it as their actual program if they're a true beginner. So it keeps it fun. It keeps it, it mixes things up a bit. This month of August, we actually did something outdoors. I totally ruined my grass, but I'm doing the beginner version. My partner Kathleen is doing the advanced version, so she's jumping around. on the grass on the lawn, and I'm doing the low impact, no jumping version. So the idea behind that was to, invite a friend or a spouse or partner to work out with you. You might be the advanced, or they might be the advanced person, or there might be in between, and modify it at a more intermediate level. But the idea is to, work out together regardless of your level of fitness. So that's something cool.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm really interested in exploring with this podcast is mindset.
Mhm.
So what do you think? What do you think needs to be happening in somebody's mindset to be able or be willing to take those first steps to take this fitness journey that you're offering?
Yeah, it's definitely what I'm noticing is, and including in myself, there's a huge mindset shift that needs to happen, right? A lot of the people I work with, and including myself, right? Um, you know, working out, there's always a negative connotation to things like discipline, or working out because you're trying to you hate the way you look, or you hate yourself. Um, Punishing yourself, we're using fitness as an exercise, as a means of punishment for your choices. That all needs to change. That makes your fitness journey a lot harder. That makes it hard to be disciplined, because when you start your workout, or when you see this, and I told you that this isn't a forever thing, this is something that we're going to do for the rest of our life. It's hard to fathom, like, oh my god, I have to work out, oh my god, because they're looking at it in a way where it's like it's something negative, rather than, you know seeing your body as a temple, um loving yourself, uh and seeing fitness as self-care and self-love, rather than punishment for whatever choices that you make. And I hate it when a lot of fitness influencers, like, oh my god, I ate a piece of cake, or I ate this pizza, now I got to work it off. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's not what we're doing here. You're doing this as an everyday, forever thing, because you're maintaining your body, because you love it, you love yourself, and you just want to do the best for it, right? And as I always say, your body is a temple, and you got to treat it well, right? You have a nice house, a nice car. I see people actually treating their house and car, with more self-love and respect than their actual bodies, which shouldn't be the case, right? So we have to, treat ourselves and love ourselves, first and foremost. And exercise is a form of love and self-care. So that's definitely a mindset shift that a lot of people need to understand, right? Um, the whole concept of like no pain no gain also needs to get out of out of the vocabulary for a lot of coaches and in the fitness industry, because it's not true. You don't have to hurt yourself to gain. You actually shouldn't be constantly bashing and hurting yourself in your fitness journey. It's not something that's sustainable. So it's really uh, you know understanding that it doesn't have to hurt. It doesn't have to be a painful journey. Yes, there are going to be some days that you are going to be sore, but it's not something that you have to chase. And once you understand that, um, it just makes it easier to get into the gym, or it just makes it easier to work out, because maybe some days you're just going to go for a daily walk. Maybe you're going to do a mobility routine. Maybe you're going to scale it down a lot more. Maybe you're not going to try to hit your 1 rep max today. Maybe you just want to move, right? So that's one of the mindset shift that I try to really um, explain and help people understand, because I feel like the whole industry has been locked into that notion to try to motivate people. And again, using that term motivation, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, we're chasing motivation when we should really not. It feels great, motivation, when it comes. It's like a boost of energy, but it should just be that, right? Because we never know when it's going to come. When it does come, it disappears so fast, and it's not something that's sustainable and realistic. It's almost like a drug, right? You feel it, it feels great, goes right away, and then we chase it. We try to, ignite that motivation, but it doesn't come, and when it doesn't come, we don't work out. So we really have to practice self-discipline, and for us to be disciplined, again, it goes back to that whole mindset shift of taking care of yourself and loving yourself, and at that point, it becomes easy to be disciplined.
Wow, so many good points you made. There's a lot to unpack from that.
Yeah.
Just the point about the negative associations that a lot of people create with going to the gym and working out really struck a chord, because yeah, I've been there. You go to the gym because you want to correct things that you don't like about yourself. You're always reinforcing the negative.
Mhm.
And then, if you're lucky, you realize over time that going to the gym is a tool to make you feel great. And then you start focusing on that as your motivator.
Mhm.
And then it completely flips the script, because you're not going out of this place of negativity anymore. It's almost like it becomes a healing thing instead of a destructive thing.
That's exactly it. So I'm sure you as a fitness enthusiast, and you've been to your lowest low and you've been to your highest high, right? And when you've been to your highest high, your fittest self, your strongest self, and that doesn't necessarily mean your strongest self in terms of like boulder shoulders and the amount of muscle you have, but just yourself where you feel the strongest and the healthiest. It's really hard to go back from that, right? So at that point, at least in my fitness journey, um, I just want to keep that momentum up. I feel good right now. When I wake up, I have less aches and pains. I know what it's like to live a sedentary lifestyle of just working at the office for 10 hours and not moving a muscle. And then actually feeling the pain from that, or just getting sick often. You know how your immune system is very low when you're not active and you're not working out. So I know what it is to be at my lowest low, and I know what it is to be at my highest high. And I also know what it is to maintain a certain level of fitness that's also unrealistic, which is, let's say, the six pack abs and the low body fat percentage, where you're not happy at that extreme level as well, right? So I've kind of explored all levels, and I'm at a place right now where I'm okay. Maybe I don't have a six pack ab. Maybe I'm not able to deadlift 350 pounds anymore, but I feel strong. I can hike to the highest mountain in Canada, in the Montreal area, and enjoy the view without being completely exhausted. I can go for daily walks. If I wanted to join my good friend who loves doing these bike rides, which he keeps talking about, right? He's like, let's tour Montreal. It's going to take like 6 hours. I'm like, am I ready? Am my legs ready for that? But it's definitely something what I would love doing, right? Without being completely burnt. So, at that point, your goals change, and just fitness for everyday life and quality of life is key for me right now, and I think, and I would assume for a lot of people as well. And like I mentioned, it's hard to go back when you have a great quality of life.
100%. And something I'll add too about the unsustainable, levels that some people
Mhm.
try to push themselves to, is that once you're there, there's a fear of backsliding. You'll
Mhm.
go to the gym 6 days a week, and on that seventh day, it's kind of like, I might be regressing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's that feeling that I always need to be pushing, otherwise I'm moving backwards.
Mhm.
But that in itself can be incredibly unhealthy, and it isn't sustainable at all.
Yeah, your body will reach a certain level where you can't push beyond, and there is such a thing as overtraining. And your body will tell you, your body will let you know, whether it's physically or mentally. um, you will get tired, you will feel uh, the motivation or just the urge to work out disappear. And we have to listen to our bodies and to our mind as well. So yeah, it takes some mental coaching, it takes some understanding, but we've been there, and we can definitely say that there's no need in going beyond uh, a certain point.
So, what are some common misconceptions that you think people have about fitness and getting in shape?
There are quite a few. Like I mentioned, the no pain no gain, I already went into that in detail, where you have to constantly hurt your body to get to get gains. What I also another one which is actually really toxic, but it doesn't sound toxic, is the all you need to do to be fit or to lose weight is to eat more, move less. Um, Move more. No,
It's the
sorry, to
opposite, right?
eat
Eat less and move
eat
more,
less,
right?
move more. Yeah, because I never say it because I hate that term. So eat less, move more is something that they say all the time, which I remove from my vocabulary. Eat less, move more. Definitely move more, but the whole making it simple as eating less, you get that can cause a lot of eating disorders. It's just so toxic, mental issues. You get people that are just going on to crash diets, doing the whole cucumber cayenne pepper diet, because they think it's as simple as eating less and moving more, and that will cause overtraining as well. And I say it's okay to move more to a certain degree, but you're eating less, a lot less calories, and then you're going to go run 10K and then go to the gym. That will not only burn you out, but now you're going to have this toxic relationship with food, which is not which should never be the case. Rather, you should be more inclusive to nutrient dense foods. Take the opportunity to eat, to explore the rainbow when it comes to uh, fruits and veggies. That's what people should be doing when it comes to changing up their habits. And it's not eating less and moving more. And I do see a lot of people, and it worries me because I do have a stepdaughter. She's 13 years old, and this is the time when they are looking at what should I do. Luckily, my partner and I are both trainers, and we try to talk to her about certain things. But it's always a concern when you see like a teenager trying to reduce their calories drastically by just not eating, right, without replacing it with something that's dense in nutrients. So that's definitely a misconception, and it's definitely something that I I I never tell my clients, or I never preach, eating less, moving more. What did I say before? Moving less, eating more, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anybody really wants to go down that route either, but
Yeah, exactly. In all cases, extreme measures is not great. Um, just unrealistic expectations too on social media. I used to show a lot of my physique when I first started my fitness journey. When I first started my fitness account on Instagram, it was the thing that a lot of fitness trainers do, where we would show our six pack. And then I used to do it like a monthly check in. Now I haven't done that in years. It's just because the big misconception about fitness is to be healthy, you need abs, or to be healthy, you need a flat stomach, or, striations in your muscles, where they don't really understand that some of these fitness models or influencers, when they're showing their best physique, they're actually at their weakest because they're low energy, because they had to shed water. Again, their calories are at their lowest, so it's not necessarily a healthy portrayal of the human body. So that's definitely something that I don't do anymore. Whereas I show my physique, I might do it just by accident. We're at the beach and there's a picture and we're shirtless or whatever. But the whole flexing really hard just to get the bulge in your pecs and biceps, that also is something that's so unrealistic, right? These pictures that you see on Instagram and the magazines and all that stuff, they're flexing really hard and they're at their lowest and probably at their weakest. So a healthy body doesn't necessarily mean a 6 or an 8 pack or a flat stomach.
well, I think that's an
Yeah.
example of a larger issue with social media, is that a lot of influencers are posting snapshots of their daily life that isn't representative of the totality of their lives, right? It's only like the highlights, and people can get hung up on that. And as you mentioned, teens are particularly vulnerable to
Yeah.
being influenced by those things, I guess.
That's it. And you know that definitely worries me, but I'm seeing more. more and more influencers, showing I think they do like a split screen, expectations versus reality, or
Right.
Instagram versus reality, which is kind of refreshing. Let people understand that. Also, the whole hot girl summer, now that summer is kind of like coming to an end, but we saw it more and more in the spring, where it's like, oh my gosh, we have to. And again, because my 13-year-old, these are things that come out of their mouth. They listen to music, or they see it on TikTok, which is like hot girl summer workout, hot girl summer workout, which is kind of like, really beating yourself up and dieting hard in spring so that you get the summer bod. So they're all, hot for the summer. That again promotes extreme weight loss tactics, and going into this vicious cycle of dieting hard for a certain thing, and then going back to these habits that caused you to live an unhealthy lifestyle. So I'm always going to say it, it's a forever thing. We really need to do something that's sustainable for the rest of our lives, because that's what we got to do. Is just we got to move, and we got to eat the good nutrients, explore healthy foods rather than restrict.
Absolutely. And we're thankful to have influencers like you on social media who are spreading healthy messages. And I want to talk more about your following, because you have over 2 million followers across your social media platforms, which is amazing. It's a gigantic audience. Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Obviously, there's something that you're doing that's resonating with a lot of people. So tell me about your experience and the growth that you've had with your business in terms of like your
Yeah,
following.
it's been insane. Like, I still can't believe it. The sheer amount of not just the following, right, but like the community that I created, the amount of people that are actually engaged in the content, the comments that I get, the DMs that I get, to a point where it's very hard to keep up with everything that I'm getting. To the community that I built on my website uh, and app, it's just been surreal. And to be honest, I really don't have any strategy. And this is funny to say, because we both worked at a company where strategy was key, and changing strategies to go viral. And to me, I have absolutely no strategy to go viral, because every viral video I did was by mistake. A lot of the viral videos that I did was videos that I truly believed people needed, and is videos that I wouldn't even think uh, would go viral, right? One of my biggest videos is, if you haven't exercised in years, start here. And it's me sitting down, up and down on a chair, doing wall push-ups, and doing certain, and this was just, a video for my community, for my beginner community. It was a video for my sister who was battling cancer, and it just goes to show that, a lot of people resonate with this level of fitness, and it's really something that's important, for a lot of people starting their journey, or for a lot of people that didn't realize that they needed to start their journey, but it kind of opened up their eyes to saying, oh my gosh, I can start here, so I can do an actual workout plan rather than having to lose a ton of weight or build a certain amount of strength so that they can start their plan that consists of burpees and all that stuff
Yeah.
with other videos. So it was just a matter of creating content that is useful, obviously, that resonated to the world, and also being authentic, right? A lot of the videos that I do is just me talking on camera, and um, answering a lot of questions. A lot of the topics that I do cover is from the community. It's not things that I do tons of research on. I haven't really Googled much, and tried to find what are the hot topics of the day. It's really looking at the comments, or a DM, or someone that I bump into the street, or my family. At the time, my sister asking me a whole bunch of questions like, oh, what can I do for my chair because I can't stand anymore? And I do a video on that. So it's listening to the community, serving them first and foremost. And that will always be the mission, regardless of, and I have had some times where I was in the negative. I was not getting subscribers. I was actually losing subscribers, but that didn't stop me. I have, the type of content that I want to do for my community, and I'm going to continue doing it. And regardless if it gets 10 views or 10 million views, the content is going to go up no matter what. And by chance, if it goes viral, it goes viral. By chance, if I'm continuing to grow, then that's totally fine, you know.
That's so great, because
Yeah.
I like you mentioned, I understand the pressure to want to go viral and to try to
Yeah.
force it, but you can't teach authenticity. At the end of the day, it really shines through, and it comes from within you, and people are getting better and better at recognizing that, and I think there's an appetite for that right now. So
Yeah.
it's really awesome that you're tapping into that. I think it's fantastic.
That's it, exactly, and I appreciate that. And yeah, that's been my mission, you know, regardless, because even if, you know, those 10,000 views, which is considered low, let's say, on social media, if I get 10,000 views, that's still 10,000 people that viewed it, and out of those 10,000 people, maybe 100 people are actually going to do it, and out of those 100 people, maybe that's going to change the life of 10 people. Maybe those 10 people are going to shift their mindset. Maybe they're going to start a workout plan, and you never know. So that's going to be the mission for the rest of my life, or at least my mission online, going forth. So yeah.
Do you have any cool success stories of people that you've helped?
Yeah, I have a few. um there's this person on TikTok and Instagram. Her name is Mama Elliot. Well, that's her handle, Mama Elliot. And she's just so amazing. I didn't really, because I get tagged a lot, and she would tag me in almost every video that she would post. And she uh I don't remember the amount, how her weight, but that doesn't matter. But it was to a point where she couldn't walk without a walker, and she would spend a lot of her time sedentary. And then she was tagging me in videos where she would be doing my couch workouts and my bed workouts, where she would literally just be lifting her leg up and down, doing knee extensions, doing workouts with her shoulders over her head. And you know, I found her, I followed her, and I was following her fitness journey. And then she did an amazing video just a couple of weeks ago, where she was showing how she used to, you know, let's say, do the dishes from the chair, wash the dishes from the chair. Now she's able to do it from a standing position, where she was not able to go to shopping at a store without her walker. Now she's able to walk in a store with her cane. She actually signed up to a 5K walkathon. I think she did, I think 3/4 of that walkathon, but it was so amazing, so inspiring, where she was completely sedentary and bedridden. And yeah, she's now filming videos of her dancing with her daughter, standing up. Obviously, I can't take all the credit for that. I guess she was just simply inspired by my videos, and she would do my routines. She did hire a physiotherapist, and she's been working closely with her doctors. But it was just so inspiring to see, and it just motivates me to continue doing what I'm doing, because, you know, this is someone that filmed it and tagged me and constantly sent me messages for me to actually see it. You know, with the amount of subscribers I have, it's very hard for me to see that. But I can only imagine there are other people in the world that, you know, who are not filming their fitness journey, who are not tagging me in the videos, but I could be potentially helping. So you know, all those are our success stories. I do get a lot of DMs, and I do get a lot of comments saying that, you know, a certain video changed their perspective on fitness, and got them in their journey. So you know, just you know, any beautiful comment to me is a success. But Mom Elliot is definitely someone that I'm following her journey. And yeah, whoever's watching this, Mom Elliot, definitely follow her, and she's super inspiring.
Amazing. Isn't it great that the technology that we have today allows us to reach so many people and touch so
Yeah.
many lives? It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it, isn't it?
It's so mind-blowing. And you know, we're blessed to live in this time, because, you know, we're able to, one, distribute content to help people, Just like your podcast as well, right? Like the people that listen in, it's all about mindset, and that potentially can change the lives of people. But also, yeah, consuming content as well. There's just so much out there. And my sister spoke about this a lot, and she did a whole speech about it, where there's a lot of negativity when people think of social media, but there's so much positivity behind it. It's just a matter of what you choose to consume, and also what you choose to create and put out there. And I guess both our missions is to bring some positivity in this world,
Absolutely.
amidst everything else that's going on.
Do you want to share a little bit more about your sister's story? We opened kind of by
Yeah.
mentioning her and how she got you
Yeah.
into this fitness journey of your own. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about her?
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be here without, her. She was a cancer, and we like to say thriver, because she thrived with cancer, meaning that, despite, her illness, she was still um, living her best life and also helping people at the same time. Her name was Nally Agustin. She unfortunately passed in March of this year. She dedicated her life helping people. At first, it started with her cancer journey, helping people, going through the same cancer diagnosis as her. And it quickly evolved to her helping everybody despite, whatever they were going through, whether it's an illness or just whatever personal obstacles that they had going in their life. She proved to the world that um, it was worth pushing and fighting for. She became a best-selling author for The Diary of Nally. That was one of the legacies that she left behind uh, right before passing, which this book is literally her diary of everything that she was going through and how she overcame um, a lot of the things that would a lot of people, you would not think you would with a condition like that. She had breast cancer, and then it metastasized to her lungs, and then it went to her brain, and then it came back to her lungs, and then several bouts of cancer. But throughout this whole journey, she had her head up. She was continuing to do inspirational content, helping people. She was a motivational speaker at the same time, and just a really bright light. And I was influenced, by her. And I realized that, there's so much good that could come out of just speaking your truth, because that's exactly what she did. We were creative partners for a good part of 2 years, which was a great thing. We were kind of, I was kind of like on the health and fitness side, and she was doing the same in terms of health and wellness. That was her journey. I'm continuing to, I guess, embody her, so to speak. I want to continue spreading her message and her words. Actually, I'm wearing her shirt right now. Less doing, more being, which was exactly what she was living by. It's we're so much, especially when you're an influencer, it's like go 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 go, produce. But it's just a matter of, at least the way that I interpret it is you got to live in the moment and be more. And when it comes to content creation, the same thing. That's why I always say, it's all about being authentic. It's not about creating. It's just, being ourselves and speaking the truth, or at least our truth. And the camera happens to be recording and we happen to upload it, and whoever can relate to that, whether it goes viral or not, at least we're being authentic and speaking our truth. So that's pretty much what she did. Her handle is Nally Agustin. She has so much content on YouTube, on Instagram, and all over the internet, and there's a lot that people can pull from that, whether you are going through something, whether it's something physical or mental. You will definitely be inspired.
My wife and I followed your sister's story very closely, and my
Yeah,
deepest condolences to you.
thank
We
you.
were also heartbroken by that news, but I'm so glad that you're continuing to spread those awesome messages, and you guys have both touched so many people. So
Appreciate it.
yeah, just keep it up, man.
We actually have yesterday we started a mural, and after this call today, this podcast, I'm gonna go back. Flew in an artist from Toronto, famous artist. She actually does some stuff in Miami. Her name is Jazz9, and she's doing this amazing mural downtown Montreal of an alley, and it's in the works right now. And we with her, by it was her request, but she was also planted as a tree. With her ashes were mixed in with a tree, so she's gonna continue to grow and to flourish, which is pretty cool. So yeah, her legacy is definitely gonna live on. So we're gonna continue to do things like that, promote her book, and keep spreading the word, and her social media will forever be there for everyone.
That's beautiful. You guys have done amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So remind everybody, Justin, where they can find you online, how to contact you if they wish.
Yeah. You can find me at justinaugustin.com. That's my website where all the full length workouts are. There's also the Justin Augustin Fitness app. And obviously my social medias on Instagram is at Justin Augustin. On TikTok is Justin_Augustin. And yeah, just if you Google Justin Augustin, you'll pretty much find everything there. But that's where they can find me.
And your links will be included in this video.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you so much again. This was an amazing conversation. I think we'll have to do this again in the future if you're able.
Anytime. I'm super down. It's always great chatting with you, Rob. I really appreciate you having me on your show.
I wish you continued success, and thanks again.
You as well.
All right.
Have a good day.